Welcome to this transformative self-coaching program to help you integrate and reframe the feelings and beliefs of this pattern. This program is designed to help you feel better now and more empowered in daily life. To use this program, earphones are recommended. While you listen to the words, emotions may arise. Lightly tap on the karate chop throughout playback to help your body with grounding, soothing and presence. This work is not replacement for professional care. Take full responsibility for your well-being. Start the tap. Triggered by others' suffering. My inner child speaks. My triggers seem to lie in the suffering of others. It is clear that this is a fear of ego reflected back at me. My biggest trigger is heavily influenced by the suffering of others. When I hear about the suicide of someone, I start to feel deep despair and hopelessness. That despair is not compassion for them but fear that I am broken beyond repair. I fear that one day I will see no other way out. Even though I feel deep despair and fear when I witness others suffering, especially in tragic loss, I lovingly acknowledge that this pain is a reflection of my own unhealed fear and I choose to be gentle with myself as I face it. Sometimes it feels like their pain mirrors mine, and I can't separate what is theirs from what is mine. My chest tightens when I hear about another person's suffering, as if it's my own story replaying. Despair floods me and I wonder if I'm strong enough to survive this world. I start to imagine that their end could easily become mine. A part of me feels condemned to repeat what I fear most. It feels like no matter how much I grow, the darkness will always find me. I begin to question whether I'm truly healed or just pretending to be okay. It feels unfair that other people's pain can awaken such terror in me. I feel haunted by the possibility that I could lose myself again. I sense a quiet panic, whispering that I might never fully recover. I feel small, fragile, and unable to protect myself from life's intensity. It hurts to see myself mirrored in others' suffering. It makes me feel exposed. I feel guilt for turning someone's tragedy into a mirror for my own fears. I want to be compassionate, yet I feel consumed instead. There's a part of me that still believes I'm broken beyond repair. I fear that hope could vanish one day and I'd have nothing left to hold on to. Sometimes I just want to turn away from the world's pain so I don't collapse. I feel like I'm walking on thin ice between empathy and despair. The thought of another's suffering makes me afraid of my own fragility. I start to lose my sense of safety in existence itself. I forget that I have survived so much already. I lose sight of the light that has always guided me. I feel as though I'm dissolving into their pain and can't come back. Yet somewhere deep within, a tiny part of me still believes I can find peace. That little spark reminds me that even in fear, I am still alive and capable of love. Underlying beliefs: I believe that if others can't survive, maybe I can't either. I equate witnessing pain with inevitable doom for myself. I believe brokenness is permanent and healing is fragile. I fear compassion will consume me and leave me helpless. I associate despair with identity, as if suffering defines me. I unconsciously mirror others' pain to validate my own unhealed wounds. My ego fears annihilation and projects that fear when others lose their battle. I subconsciously believe that safety and peace are temporary illusions. There's an ego mechanism of identification, mistaking another's end for proof of my own weakness. I sometimes use others' suffering as evidence that love or healing doesn't last. Adult, embrace and soothe your inner child. I'm sorry to my inner child who experienced such deep fear when seeing others in pain. I'm sorry you believed that their suffering meant you would suffer too. I'm sorry that you carried the burden of believing healing could vanish at any time. I understand how terrifying it was to feel so vulnerable to life's cruelty. You were only trying to make sense of the world and stay safe. I now see how deeply you wanted to believe that life could be gentle again. I give you permission to heal from the fear of despair and loss. I give you permission to forgive yourself for carrying what was never yours. I release any guilt and shame you carry about, feeling afraid or overwhelmed. I honor our journey together and the strength that brought us here. I love you for your courage to keep feeling even when it hurt. You are safe now, my dear one. I am here, always, to protect and hold you through it all. Message from higher self: you are the infinite awareness witnessing temporary pain, not the pain itself. The suffering of others does not define or threaten you. It calls you back to compassion rooted in truth, not fear. You were never broken, only believing in the illusion of separation from your wholeness. The despair is a reflection of an old story that no longer belongs to you. From the highest view, all souls are eternal, all experiences are purposeful, and your capacity to love without being consumed is your divine inheritance. You are here not to drown in others' pain, but to remember that love transcends death, loss, and fear. The contrast you feel is the soul's invitation to expand into unconditional safety and faith in your infinite being. Bridge into your new reality. I used to believe that others' suffering meant I was doomed too, but now I recognize that their journey and mine are different expressions of learning and love. I once felt consumed by despair when hearing of another's pain, yet now I begin to sense compassion that strengthens rather than weakens me. I used to see death and loss as proof of hopelessness, but now I see them as reminders of the preciousness of being alive. I once felt broken beyond repair, but now I see cracks as openings for light to pour in. I used to fear I might not survive my emotions, but now I am beginning to trust that my presence is stronger than the waves of fear. Reclaim your power. I choose to release the belief that others' suffering predicts my fate. I embrace my growth as evidence of resilience and divine grace. I allow compassion to expand my strength rather than drain it. I fully engage with life, knowing that love protects and sustains me. I stand in the truth that I am infinitely worthy, eternally safe, and whole. Seeing it done, I imagine myself feeling peaceful and steady when I encounter the suffering of others. I see myself holding space for compassion without absorbing pain. I notice that I now radiate calm assurance that healing is always possible. I walk through life feeling safe, anchored in divine presence. My heart is open yet protected, able to witness pain and still remain joyful, grounded, and full of love. I have already made peace with others' suffering and see it through eyes of wisdom. I have already learned that my empathy is a strength, not a burden. I have already found balance between compassion and inner calm. I have already become the light that others feel safe around. I have already embodied the truth that love and life are eternal, and fear no longer rules me. Closing and next steps. Take a deep rejuvenating breath. Congratulations on completing this transformative session. Take a note of how you feel in comparison to how you started. Be attentive to the reduction in the emotional weight of associated feelings and changes in how you react to things that used to trigger you. Feel free to repeat this program to completely shift and reframe this pattern and beliefs. For more details, see the link in the bio or description below.